What's up, Our Way Out family? Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back. Today we have a special guest with us, our friend, our brother, Bobby Hustle. Welcome, Bobby.
Gentlemen, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Nice, man. Thank you for coming, spending time with us, and we're looking forward to having this conversation. So we met Bobby through work. We all work on Let's Make a Deal, The Price is Right, and we're pretty much a family there. We're brothers, and as you get to know each other, you start to realize that we all have a lot of connections in our lives, a lot of similarities. And Bobby Hustle, you've been incarcerated before, but your story is unique because you didn't get incarcerated here in the States. You got incarcerated in Costa Rica. How was that like, man?
Yeah, so first of all, I really appreciate you guys for having me. I've been watching Our Way Out.
Yeah. Since the beginning?
20 plus episodes now, so it's an honor and a pleasure to be here to participate with Thanks Crew. I did, technically incarceration's the wrong word because I was never found guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in Costa Rica as part of a tour for my music because for the last 15 years I've been a musician, touring musician, specializing in reggae and dancehall music. And in 2016, I had just released my debut album here in the US, but I was on... It's called It's the Hustle. And I was on a world tour, essentially. I had just finished a European tour and then went and did a little American run. And in January of 2016, I went down to Costa Rica and I connected with a guy that I met here in California who brought me there and told me my music was already on the radio and it would be a great opportunity to do a promotional tour. So I went there for what was supposed to be 6 shows. And after the 4th show, we were driving from city to city. I was having an amazing time performing. I was on TV, I was on radio, I had some great shows, and I was just feeling a lot of positivity and everything was like, felt like it was really picking up for me. And we were driving from the Caribbean side of the country to the Pacific side, and we were pulled over, and the police officers on scene told me to get out of the car. I got out of the car. They said, "Can I see your passport?" I presented them my passport, and they said, "Can I look through your bags?" They looked through my bags, and then the next thing I know, they're coming around from the front of the car with pounds of marijuana.
Which is super illegal out there.
It's a gray area in Costa Rica. It's not illegal to consume it, but it's illegal to carry large amounts and traffic it. And the driver of the vehicle told the police officers that we were going from the Caribbean to the Pacific, and the amount that we had was instantly like, these guys are trafficking. Now, at that moment, I had no idea there was any weed in the car at all. And although, everybody says like, oh, reggae music and weed, like those two things go hand in hand. And that is true. However, I wasn't there for that. Like I was there to promote my record, and so it came as a big surprise to me. I ended up being put into jail. I was in jail for a week. And then while I was in jail, the public defender, El Defensor, told me that the initial analysis that I was going to be let go because but didn't have anything to do with the actual weed was no longer on the table because the police had accused me of throwing the packages out of the car, although I had nothing. I never did that. But the police, they made a really poor search. And because they made a poor search, they had to like make sense of the situation. And so they lied on the paperwork and the documentation. And they said the gringo threw some packages out of the car. I was the gringo.
Yeah.
So I went from like thinking, oh, I'm going to be let out and I'll be able to go home to, oh, now you're facing 8 to 15 years for accomplice in drug trafficking in a foreign country. And I didn't speak the language at that time. I still don't speak Spanish very well, but at that time I spoke no Spanish. So I spent a week in the jail.
How was that? How was the jail there?
Bro, the jail, I don't have anything to compare it to because I've never been in the US, but from what I hear, it's worse. So I was in an underground room at night. The only form of light you would see in the morning when the sun came up was a little slit in the ceiling. We spent the night sleeping on the floor on like yoga mats, basically. And there was 10 to 15 of us in a cell with one toilet that they would flush once a day. So
they just pile up and they just pile. It like was construction potty quarter. Yeah,
90 to 100 degrees in there. So it was sweaty,
stinky.
There were mosquitoes the size of your fist. There were spiders. There were cockroaches. There were centipedes. Everything that you could imagine you didn't want to see was in there.
What a nightmare.
And there was 10 to 15 guys in there too. The saving grace for me was that I was a reggae artist from California, and they love reggae music in Costa Rica, so they wanted to know about me.
They're curious.
And I had even though I didn't speak Spanish, one of the guys I was locked up with there spoke English, and so he was translating, and I became like not a celebrity, but they were like interested in me. They took an interest in me, so I wasn't just some gringo, you know.
Gotcha.
And then after the week of being transferred between facilities in the Caribbean, I would spend my days at the courthouse sitting in a cell by myself, and then at night they would put me in this big room with these 10 to 15 other guys. Some of them were there for murder, you know.
Yeah.
Some of them were there for carjacking banana trucks, you know. Like there was all different types of different for real. There was all different types of
crimes
think of accused of, and they were laughing at me because they were like, drug trafficking, that's some
stupid. It ain't no banana, that's for sure.
You know. And so they were like, you good, you're gonna be fine. I was like, 8 to 15 years is not fine, you know. At that time I was 30, I was 31, so I was looking at getting out 40 in my mid 40s, you know. And I had just come off of like a very successful European tour and all of these things. Like I had big goals
and still was going right,
and everything just got cut short. But flash forward to the arraignment, La Audiencia, with the first judge that I saw. The public defender that I had was able to find a rule in the Central American High Court system that if you're over the age of 18, you didn't murder or
like violent crime kind of thing,
you had somebody in the country that you could live with, and you were a foreigner, it made more sense for the government to let you live with that person than to keep you in jail and have you cost the taxpayers money. So I was super blessed that a family, there was actually 3 of us in the car that day we were arrested, and the third kid, who was in his early 20s, who's my brother now, he was let out by the prosecutor's office. They tried to get him to flip on us, even though he didn't know anything. And when they let him out to hopefully have him flip on the other 2 of us that were in the car, the kid went straight to his mom and to the public defender and said, "Look, Bobby's innocent. I know he didn't have anything to do with this. Whatever we can do to help, we're going to do it." And the public defender said, "Well, there's a law that says, or there's a precedent that says if he didn't kill anybody, if he's a foreigner, and if he has somebody
he can stay
vouch for him, then he can stay with him. So, Miss, can he live with you and your family?" And Miss Joanna is her name, Joanna McKenzie, God bless. She said, even though she didn't never meet me, she had never met me, so she didn't know anything about me except that I was the other guy in the car that her son got locked up with. And she said, when one person in my family eats, everybody eats, so he can come live with me. So a true Christian woman. She gave me a chance and took me in. I didn't have clothes. I didn't have anything. I surrendered my phone, my passport, my wallet to the government. I had to sign. I was on the no-fly list. I had to sign with the court every week.
You couldn't come back. You couldn't come back to the U.S.
I wasn't allowed to leave the country until I had the trial.
Yeah.
And the consequences, my lawyer told me the consequences was if I left the country, I would be on the international police, the Interpol list. I would be on a no-fly list. And if I decided to leave the U.S. at any point and go to any country, it would be the discretion of the law enforcement in that country. Mm-hmm. If they stopped me, they could send me to Costa Rica, no trial, automatic 20 years.
20. Wow.
Yeah. And I was innocent, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm
gonna just stay.
I'm innocent. It was a real trust thing. Like I had to trust God, basically.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what the outcome was going to be, but I decided that if I was going to have my freedom in the future, I needed to fight for it right then and there. And so I ended up spending 22 months in the country. Like I said, I was only actually in jail
For a week.
Incarcerated for 1 week. But I was in a mental prison for 22 months.
Mm-hmm.
And people were coming to the country from all over the world to go on vacation.
Mm.
And I was in the country by myself, wanting to go anywhere but there.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a really interesting situation for me. And, you know, I ended up developing lifelong friends while I was there. I learned a little bit of Spanish, and I did a lot of introspection and healing while I was there. You know, I've learned so much from that situation. And that situation actually brought me right here.
Yeah.
You know, all of these things are interconnected. And, you know, something I've been sitting with a lot lately is sometimes when you win, you lose. And sometimes when you lose, you win.
Yeah.
You know, so God wanted me to go a different direction. He wanted me to sit down for a little bit and pray and think and grow.
Yeah. How long has it been since that situation?
So I ended up going to trial in December of 2017. I got locked up in January of 2016. I was locked up in December of 2017. So 22 months later, I was found not guilty. They gave me my passport back, took my name off the no-fly list, and I went home and had Christmas with my mom.
Oh, nice. I bet that was nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. So,
Yeah.
that was, believe it or not, a little bit more than 8 years ago. So you and I actually, we bonded on the fact that we kind of got freed up in a really similar time.
Yeah. And you've been back since then, right?
I actually, man, it's beautiful. I just recently committed to myself that I was going to return to Costa Rica to see the family that took me in, because they're my family.
Yeah.
Mi familia adoptiva.
Yeah.
And so I was terrified for years, even though my lawyer and my friends there were like, no, you're clear, you're good. They don't have anything on you. You were found not guilty, no culpable. You can go back. And I was like, man, I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
It's like
a little comatose.
I was like, I don't want to go back there. But something was always pulling at my heart to like return and to see them. And my mi abuela Tika, she passed away during the pandemic, and it really hurt my heart that I didn't get to see her again, you know, because she took care of me. She was the matriarch of the family, you know, and I just didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her. And I didn't want that to be the case with anybody else. So I decided to get over my fears this last October 2025. And I went back for a week, and it was so healing, guys. Like it was such a blessing to go back. I went to the courthouse. I went to my family's house. I went to the cemetery. I saw people that I hadn't seen for 10 years, the people that I didn't think I'd ever see again. And I fell back in love with the country. Yeah. And the experience forever changed me, and it was a great blessing ultimately. Yeah. Although it forced my life to go a different direction than I thought it would. You know, now I'm here in Los Angeles, and I work in TV, and I'm also a songwriter, and I work in entertainment. But that period of my life was a great period of growth. Like so many people that get incarcerated, when they sit down, when they have time to sit down and reflect, they make a choice. You know, like, am I going to use this as a growing opportunity and like get right with myself, get right with God, or am I going to continue down the path? You know? Yeah. And so I was fortunate enough to like use that time as a time of growth.
And you mentioned you do reggae music.
Yeah.
Where can people find your music?
Sure.
I've personally heard your music, and it's great. And I would love our audience to get to know you, because you do a lot of great music. Yeah. You're an amazing songwriter. So tell us about your music, and tell us about the projects you got going on now.
Sure. So yeah, since I was a little kid, I grew up outside of Seattle, Washington. So not the place you'd expect a white boy, to like fall in love with reggae, but there was a community of people that were into reggae. in the late 90s, early 2000s. And just me and my childhood friends coalesced around that music. And we still do music today. One of them is a Grammy-nominated producer. And so I grew up kind of loving and learning about Jamaican culture and reggae culture. And since 2010, I've been releasing music. And it's brought me all over the world. Like I said, I did a European tour. I played in Russia. I played in Japan. I played in Jamaica, Canada, Costa Rica, all over the world. And reggae, yeah, man, it's just like a part of who I am. You can find me on all the platforms, wherever you listen to music, like Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, iTunes, Apple Music, SoundCloud. It's wherever you listen, you'll find me. Just type in Bobby Hustle, BOBBYHUSTLE. And yeah, so that has always been creative outlet has always been really important to me. It's always going to be important to me. So recently I've actually started songwriting for other people. It's actually something that I started doing in Costa Rica because I was stuck there. I didn't have any form of income other than music, and I had pretty much lost everything. But I had some artists that were contracting me to write songs for them. Yeah. So they would send me a beat and a vocal idea, and then I would go sit down on the beach with my headphones and I would write songs. And some of those songs are out. And that was sort of the seed that got planted in me that, maybe I could be a songwriter for other people too. So I actually just went to Jamaica in February and was writing some songs for some artists there, which is something I'm going to continue doing. But I also just this last week went to Nashville in Tennessee, and the same guys that I grew up doing reggae with, they also, not only are they Grammy nominated in reggae music, but they started producing country music. And they work with a extremely talented country artist named Zachariah Smith. And he was a top 5 finalist on American Idol in 2023. The kid has a beautiful voice. He's got a beautiful heart. He's a God-loving, great person. And it's just been a blessing to get to know him and start writing songs for him. So now I'm doing reggae, dancehall, and country. Yeah. But I love music, so wherever this takes me, I'll write songs. If that's rap, hip hop, R&B, rock, it doesn't matter. Like, to me, if it has heart and soul, I connect with it, and I want to be a part of it. So, yeah, I don't know where the journey is going, but it's really awesome to connect with creatives and to continue following that. And yeah.
It's having faith. Yeah, it's cool. Faith in the process, faith in God. And what a bounce back from, Costa Rica, especially having gone, experiencing being stuck out there, now you work on Price is Right, Let's Make a Deal. You're traveling, Tennessee, Jamaica through music. So God is good, man. And
God is great. And I mean, David and I are partners on stage at Let's Make a Deal. And like, one of the first things we kind of bonded over, which is really cool, it's just how the universe works and how God works is, you tell the story about being incarcerated, and one of the only programs that you got to watch was Let's Make a Deal. Yeah. And for me, when I was down in Costa Rica, I didn't have any American culture really around me. And I was surrounded by Spanish speakers, and I happened to live in a place that had a TV that got CBS Miami. And so, like, the 2 shows in the morning really that I got to like connect with were and get my little piece of home. Yeah, where Let's Make a Deal. And the Price. Yeah,
and the tune we worked on now.
10 years I'm
it's a trip. It's a trip.
Companies to produce, help be a part of it. Yeah. So, it's really, it's a special experience, and I'm super grateful, and I don't take any of it for granted.
Yeah, definitely. And what are your goals coming up for the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh man, 3 to 5 years. I want to take my songwriting to another level. You know, television is, it has been a really important part to create sort of a stability in my life that I never had, because I used to tour for like 7 years living out of a suitcase, and I didn't have a car. I didn't have a house. I was very mobile, and I didn't know what the next day would bring, let alone the next month.
Yeah.
You know, like, so like getting into this position has really given me a certain stability that I never had in my adult life. I grew up with a really wonderful mother who provided for me. So as a child, I had a certain level of stability, but then I chose the path of a creative and kind of gave all that up for the unknown, just to follow my dream, which led me to this place. But for the next 3 to 5 years, I want to sort of rediscover, in moderation, because I still appreciate the stability, but I want to rediscover like giving more of my heart to the music. Because, you know, we work 40, 50 hours a week in TV. And sometimes that can make it a little bit exhausting to try to also follow the musical path. We're super blessed to have a boss who really encourages us to follow
your dreams. Yeah, whatever it is.
So I've been, like I said, been fortunate enough to go to Jamaica and go to Nashville and be able to go on tour when I want. And I just want to do that more, you know? So I envision sitting down in writers' rooms with some big artists and penning some songs.
Yeah.
You haven't heard yet, but you're gonna hear a lot of them. And you know, they say it just takes one, you know. And who knows, maybe a song that I've already written is gonna be one of the ones, because a bunch of stuff hasn't come out yet. So we'll see. But I just want to continue deepening my faith. I'd love to have a family. And I'd love to continue being creative. You know, I think it's important to be grateful for what I already have, you know, through gratitude, all things come. So, yeah.
And Bobby, last thing, if there's any advice you could share with our audience, what would that be?
Well, they call me Bobby Hustle. But if I could share any advice, I would say slow down. And hustle doesn't necessarily mean, to me, doesn't necessarily mean go fast. It means work hard. Like, you know, like Tristan, like David, when you show up, give it your all. Be the best that you can be. And at the end of the day, if you've been the best you can be, then you can live with that, you know? And slowing down gives you an opportunity to be grateful, to be self-aware, to know God, and through that all things are possible, you know? So yeah, hustle but slow down.
Yeah, nice, man. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for coming here and sharing your testimony with us. It was an honor, man. Check out his music. His music is great. Bobby Hustle on all platforms. And be on the lookout, because you put out songs like it's nothing. You're a great writer. You always putting out songs like it ain't no thing. So we're looking forward to seeing what the future has in store for you, man. You have brothers here that love you and support you, and we wish you the best. And thank you for tuning in. Any questions you may have for us, our guests, let us know. Like, subscribe, and thank you. Thank you, guys. Our way out, Bobby.
Tristan, our way out.